Okay, what is up? Welcome to Ferrell Swim Tech. My name is John Ferrell. This is the live stream where I take my 15 plus years of competition experience and over 12 years of private coaching to help you get faster at swimming. So today's episode is going to be about fins. Now, I have discussed fins before, probably a couple times by now, but today's episode we're really going to focus on how to use the fins as a drill, how to use the fins as a true training aid. So fins is something that I have totally evolved on over the past couple of years. I used to be very anti-fin for beginner swimmers, but I have found very good reasons why fins should be used. And I still hold on to my reasonings for why fins shouldn't be used as well. So, however, the pros now outweigh the cons. You just have to be cognizant and understanding that, hey, I can't just use fins because my legs suck. That's one of the main things that I'm going for here. But before we get into all of that, ferrellswimtech@gmail.com. You got any questions about swimming? You want me to review your stroke? I'll talk about that later in the video. ferrellswimtech@gmail.com. Oh, I thought I got on my yawns out earlier. Instagram, ferrellswimtech on Instagram. I haven't been in the pool at all this week. I want to do something with fins. And then YouTube, and then ferrellswimtech at YouTube, ferrellswimtech at Rumble. So if you want to follow me on either of those platforms, that's where kind of the repository of these streams go. Also, any and all stroke technique reviews go there as well. So, all right. Also want to quickly talk about an affiliate of this stream, which is Dynamic Triathlete. This is down in the comments. This is a app where you are getting 20-minute stretching and mobility routines for that are geared specifically towards triathletes. I use this every day that I remember it. I'm not the best at remembering it for every day, but every time I do it, it's basically yoga light. Like, you want to get, and especially hips, calves, hamstrings, hip flexors, those need to be stretched out if you want to be a good swimmer. Now, I am naturally a very flexible person. I have been insanely inflexible relatively to how much I actually stretch my entire life. So something like this is really good for me, because if I'm not flexible, I'm really annoyed with myself. So Dynamic Triathlete, wonderful 20 minutes. They got routines that focus more on hips, focus on feet, focus on hamstrings, lower back. They also have some strength, some basic strength routines as well. Most of it's body weight. There's a couple, very, very cheap pieces of equipment. I mean, we're talking like a yoga band, yoga block, stuff. If you're already really into triathlons and stuff like that, it's there. They also have good 5-minute warm-up routines. I now use those every time before I run. Don't remember it every time before I cycle. In other words, I wish I was more hardcore at this, but I'm not. So anyway, Dynamic Triathlete. Make sure to check them out today. Use offer code SWIM, SWIM. That'll give you 10% off your entire order. Plus, it'll help the stream out. Let's get into our discussion about fins. So fins are something that can be used as a crutch, and they can be used as a real training aid. So, what do fins do? Let's start talking about that. Fins increase the surface area of your feet. Okay, that's basically what they do. So by increasing the surface area of your feet, you have more surface area to push down on the water. So there's a couple things that happen here. When you have really bad technique, what tends to happen is you don't have the good lever arm pushing down on the water. But you wind up kicking a lot with your feet. So when you kick a lot with your feet, this part of it increases, and that's what's pushing down the water to actually help your body position improve. So if you wonder, why does my body position automatically improve with fins? Well, if you look at the physics of it, it's because as you push, as you bend your knee outward, usually you bend your knee outward, you're usually kicking with a toothpick. Oh, sorry. I got this weird hiccups. 1 second. So you're usually pushing with the toothpick known as your foot, okay? Now, there's a lot of discussion about people with big feet being insanely good swimmers. It's all in the technique. It doesn't. I know guys that have big feet. I know guys that have small feet, and they all kick way better than me. I just suck. Full disclosure, I was terrible at kicking compared to the rest of my peers. So when I say I'm a terrible kicker compared to sprinters. I'm a terrible kicker compared to butterflyers. Yes, guys that use their legs a whole lot more than distance guys, and even compared to distance guys in my university, I was always last in kicking. So, yes. But I understand physics, and this is how physics works. All right. So when you bend the knee and you push the fin down, that is what's pushing the water down, which brings you up to the surface. So why do we want to use fins? Let's talk about first why we want to use fins, and then we'll talk about what things to avoid with fins. So first and foremost, we want to use fins to get speed. We want fins to make us go faster. Okay? If our legs push more water backwards faster, our upper body is going to push more water backwards faster. So when we're discussing stuff about speed, I'm mostly talking about full out sprinting. Now, why would I only talk about full out sprinting? You want to avoid using fins for you. Okay, if you are a beginner swimmer, you want to avoid using fins in order to do faster 500s. You want to avoid fins doing faster thousands. Okay. You want to use fins to help you go faster 50s, 100s, 200s. That's going to be a lot more beneficial for you than slapping on fins and swimming 1,000 yards. Because what we're trying to address overall with speed is typically getting your hands moving faster, getting your arms moving faster. So basically what you have to think about is a treadmill. When you swim in the water, you are basically on a treadmill, okay? You push off, your body is moving a certain speed, okay? That is when you set the treadmill at that speed. Let's just say 5 miles an hour, okay? You put the treadmill on at 5 miles an hour, okay? You start moving your arms and your legs. If you move your arms and your legs at 5 miles an hour, you're going to keep moving 5 miles an hour, all right? Well, here's the actual truth. If your arms and legs move at 5 miles an hour, you actually wind up stopping because of physics. If your body is barely moving, in the water, you will stop. You have to add acceleration to the equation in order to overcome drag, in order to overcome the pressure of the water that it exerts on your body. So what we want to do is we want to be able to push with more force than that 5 miles per hour theoretical. Hold on, my arm rests are all screwed up. So we want to push with more force than that 5 miles an hour. What winds up happening is you wind up adding acceleration to the equation every single time. And then you wind up adding enough acceleration to overcome the drag forces and the pressure that the water exerts on your body. So with fins, what we're doing is we're increasing the speed of our legs. We increase the speed, we increase the power output of our legs. So then what happens is if you just kick, your whole body will move faster. All right? You kick a lot harder, your body will move a lot faster. All right? You are expected to be able to swim much, 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 much faster with fins than without fins. Okay? That's the general rule. That's basically the swimming law. You will swim fast with fins. If you don't swim fast with fins on, there is something horrendously wrong. Please email me. Let me help you. So when your legs are producing a lot more power, you're going to be moving faster in the water. And since you're moving faster in the water, you dip your hand in, your hand is automatically going to move faster. Okay? So now with fins on, we've upped the speed to 10 miles an hour. Your arms must be going at least 10 miles an hour in order to keep up with the treadmill. If it's not, you are slowing everything down. The water is going to push on your arm as you try to move forward, okay? So your arms automatically have to move faster in order to keep up with the legs. Now, this presents a problem. The problem is your arms are now moving faster. Are you pushing on the water? That's what you need to be working on with fins. You need to increase the amount of pressure your arms are exerting on the water in order to keep up with the fins, okay? I guarantee you, you start kicking super hard with fins, your arms are going to feel like utter toothpicks. You're going to feel like your arms are doing jack diddly squat. There is a reason for this, because in swimming, I've talked about this time and time again, there is a direct relation between pressure and speed, okay? Velocity and surface area. Velocity and pushing pressure over that surface area. So when you're swimming, you are used to a comfortable cadence. I guarantee you are used to a very, very comfortable cadence, especially those that are 1:45 and slower, those that are 2 minutes and slower. Your cadence is too slow. I can almost guarantee it. There are very few people that I have seen that are sub 145 per 100 that have a good cadence, like in terms of an actual good swimming cadence. Once again, I'm not mocking you. I'm just telling you what I see. So you need to learn how to move your arms faster, and you need to learn how to move them fast and still be applying pressure to move yourself forward, okay? This is where your technique is going to really be tested, okay? Use sprinting with fins. If you're slower than 145 per 100, use sprinting with fins to test your technique. Trust me, I always have my swimmers do a couple sprints at the end, and I watch their technique very closely while sprinting, because I guarantee you most of the kids that I work with, I tell them to sprint and their technique immediately falls to crap. Because here's what happens. When you're swimming nice and slow, sorry, I got some weird tennis elbow thing in my left arm, and it is just annoying me beyond all belief. I can't seem to make it go away. Hey, any physical therapists in the crowd, please email me. I sincerely want to talk to you, and I need to figure out this stupid elbow thing. It's really annoying me. So anyway. Yeah, seriously, any physical therapists that deal with sore, like, tennis elbow type stuffs, please email me. I'm desperate here. I am so annoyed. It's been a month. Okay, so anyway, I got a small cold right before I left on my vacation, and it has just been lingering. And it's not like enough to where I'm worried about like pneumonia or bronchitis or stuff like that. It is just like that little poke at you. So anyway, moving arms with more pressure, making sure your technique is good. One of the main ways that you're going to want to use fins is by doing sprint 25, sprint 50s. Use fins at the end of your workouts, okay? I believe it is a really good idea to do a couple sprints at the end of your workouts, because this is something that we always did. It's just kind of a nice way to finish everything off, especially if you're doing technique-heavy workouts where you're really focusing on that technique, just kind of like we talked about, where you do little tech, little swim, little tech, little swim, little tech, little swim. Drill, swim, drill, swim, drill, swim. You do that, you're gonna put together a nice set, a very nice solid set during your workout. So it is very important to learn how to move your arms fast, because you don't move your arms fast, you're not going to have any prayer pushing with enough pressure. Basically, think about it as being on the bike. Most of you, if you are slower than 145 per 100, you are basically cranking it out at 60 rotations per minute. You're cranking it out at 60, you're cranking it out at 70, but you're in your climbing gear. That's how much pressure you're putting on the water. You're cranking it out at 60 to 70 RPM, and you're basically in your climbing gear in terms of how much pressure you're actually putting on your pedals. Okay. I hope this analogy makes sense to a lot of people. You're not cranking it at 60 to 70 at the highest gear that you possibly can, and you're scraping and you're pulling. You're barely putting any pressure on the water. So using fins will help you up your arm speed. Now, it won't do it. What your technique is will help you understand if you're putting enough pressure on the water, but having the fins will help you get your stroke rate much faster. So for a reference, a very good stroke rate per 25 is about anywhere between really good. If you're insanely efficient, you're looking at around 14 plus minus, 14, 15, 13. If I get a really good push off, I can go 12s pretty consistently, 12 to 13. In terms of, and honestly, strokes per minute, I don't know that. I don't know what a good stroke rate is in strokes per minute, just because, I'd have to dig through my my form and my Garmin stats in order to figure that out. That's a metric we never used. Reason why we never use strokes per minute as a metric of cadence is because, number one, we're not swimming continuously for an entire minute. Number two, we never had instruments that could actually measure that. We didn't have smartwatches back then. We didn't have form goggles back then. We had no way of knowing. So we always classified our cadences as in strokes per 25. How many strokes are you taking per 25? We would count strokes all the time. So usually I can go about 14 to 15 per 25. If I'm sprinting, it's somewhere around the, 17, 18 range. So that's really good technique and good cadence. So you're about 16 to 18 plus minus. If I am, if I'm really digging at it, I can probably get up to 20. But that's strokes per 25 yards. So it's something that does vary, and a lot of it will vary with your technique. So basically with fins though, you're going to be taking less strokes per 25 because you're going to be going faster overall. So don't use your stroke rate with fins as a metric to compare it to your normal stroke. Don't do it. It's way too much of a variable, way too much of a swing. Compare your stroke rates with fins to others with stroke rates of fins, and then compare the ones without fins together. Don't compare fins to no fins. Just don't do it. Okay. So now so speed. Yeah. That basically wraps it up for speed. Use fins, make yourself go faster. Use these for sprints only, please. 200, I would say 200 is probably your max if you're really, really wanting to go an all-out 200. If you chain 200s together, that's going to be really, really, really good for you. Chaining 100s together is also a really good idea. If you're chaining 50s, you're basically learning how to full-out sprint a 50. So remember, same kicking technique applies. Long legs. Don't fall into the trap of, hey, I can not work on my kicking technique. You actually really want to work on your technique. Use fins and kick on your back. That's what you want to do. You want to kick on your back. Okay. So then next, let's talk about using fins for technique. Okay. We're going to use fins for technique because fins for technique is a really good idea. If you're doing stuff like side-to-side drill, you're doing salute drill, drills where you are ostensibly stopping your stroke. I was working with a guy a couple months ago, another Team Zoom member from down, I believe it was Yorba Linda area. He came up to my local pool here in Glendora, California, and we did a couple technique lessons together, which, by the way, if you want to schedule yours, check the link tree. I will post it in a few. Actually, we'll post the link tree right now. So if you want to schedule a in-person lesson, scroll on down. Let me show you this real quick. Nope, wrong buttons. I have a macro button here, analysis. There you are. So here's my link tree right here. So if you want to book a swim lesson with me, click this link right here. We'll talk about this one later. There's the Rumble, YouTube, Instagram. Also, if you like what you see here, there's a donate button. If you'd like to donate to the stream, just click there. It goes through PayPal. Super secure. Totally cool. We greatly appreciate it. All right. Okay. So now, so with doing drills, basically what happens is, what happened to this individual was, I tried to get him to do side-to-side drill, and his legs sank. He totally just fell under. It's like he fell in a sand pit and just, like quicksand. He would just sink because he doesn't have any kick. His kick is terrible. So told him to use fins with it, helped him get on the surface, helped to actually do the drill. Something that's a really good idea to do with fins is streamline kicking with a snorkel. Okay. So streamline kicking with the snorkel, this allows you to simply put your face in the water and get in a good streamline, and then you're going to work on your kick technique. So this is another way that you can actually work on your kick technique, doing streamline kick. Doing it with fins, it will help you to be able to kind of start working out the mechanics on your own. Couple things about kicking with fins. Number one, keep your hips stabilized. Don't let your hips rotate back and forth like this. Not like this. There you go. This is a weird camera angle. So don't let your hips rock back and forth. Keep them nice and stable. Use your core to stabilize your upper body. You want to have as little movement with your upper body as possible. You have to think like a javelin being thrown through the air. So you want to have your upper body be as quiet as possible. You want your legs doing all the work. Usually, I kind of think about engaging from the belly button down, and having the legs. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry. Having the legs move back and forth independently. I'm sorry. Kicking with fins, streamline kicking with fins, really, really, really good idea. Throw on the snorkel, you're going to be a lot better for it. So that's a good kicking drill. Now, using fins while drilling is a really good idea because when you're doing that, you are helping keeping your legs afloat. So you can more focus and concentrate on the actual portions of the drill. The only thing that I would say is attempt to take the fins off when you're doing the swim portions of the drill. So let's say you want to do drill swim, 50s, drill swim, 50 drill, take off the fins, 50 swim, put on the fins, 50 drill, take off the fins, 50 swim. So if you do that, you're going to be able to use the fins during the drill, and then you take off the fins during the swim, and you try and replicate everything with the swim. If that becomes way too hard, keep the fins on. All right. I'm not heartless. Gosh, I know I'm a good swimmer, but I'm not a heartless good swimmer. So if you're really struggling when you take the fins off, for the drills specific sets, keep the fins on. Basically what's happening is you need to then focus a lot more on your kick, and you need to focus on keeping your legs nice and straight. Remember, we do not move our legs by bending our knees in swimming. We just don't do it. We bend our knees very slightly, but it's actually in the opposite direction that you're thinking of. We don't bend our knees down, we bend our knees up. So yeah, so that's usually something that most people coming into triathlon will have to deal with. Yeah. So okay. So now let's talk about types of fins and why to use them. So these fins that I use, these are defined as short blade fins. So there is no exact definition on short versus long. This is about a 2-inch blade on the fin. So you got your footbed and you got your blade. So these extra doohickeys on the side, there's reasons for them. I don't know what they are. There's something about channeling water, hydraulics, blah blah blah. Stuff I probably should know. But to be brutally honest, doesn't really matter. It's not that important. What the most important parts of the fin that you should care about are material of construction and length of blade. That's all you should care about. Certain fins are squishy, other fins are more solid. This fin is a little bit more on the rigid side. I would say it's about a happy medium between the two. Trust me, there are some fins that are just stiff as a board. But also this is also a 20-year-old fin. It also definitely is showing signs of wear and tear. So that's why this fin is more flexible. This fin was actually a lot stiffer 20 years ago. So stiff fin versus squishy fin. What's the difference? So stiff fins typically are short fins. They are your Zoomers. They are your Speedo. I'll show you on the thing later. But anyway, stiff fins more designed for speed. Flexible fins more designed. These are more designed for speed, sprint speed. Long fins are designed for overall speed. With these ones, if you do not have good kicking technique, it is going to be hard to keep your legs afloat. Remember, shorter blade means less surface area. However, if you have less surface area, you need more stiffness in the fin, or else the fins will just flop around back and forth if you have really good kick technique. Basically, if you are faster than 130 per 100, and especially if you're faster than 120 per 100, you're going to want short fins. You're not really going to want long fins. Long fins aren't going to do that much for you, mainly because your kick should be good enough to where long fins will just become super squishy. And then you have to radically alter your kicking technique in order to get the most efficiency out of them. And when I say radically alter for a swimmer means altering for a swimmer. With these, you don't have to alter your kick technique in order to get a big boost out of your fins. And the reason why is just the motion of the longer blade. It tends to move in the water differently, and you wind up using your calves a lot more with long blade fins. With short blade fins, you target a lot more of the quads and the upper hamstrings. No, quads and hamstrings. I'm sorry. Anatomy failed me for a minute there. So short blade fins, really good for faster swimmers. Not very good for faster or slower swimmers at all. Please do not buy short blade fins. So if you're wondering about Zoot's fin, let me pull that up real quick. I should have had this already tabbed, but sorry. Let's see here. So we're gonna pull up the ultra swim fins. Excuse me. So here's the ultra swim fin. These are made by Zoot. So these are defined as short blade fins. These are about, yeah, they're roughly the same blade length as these fins. The one thing though is that these short fins are made out of silicone. They are very squishy. And like I said before, that's not necessarily a terrible thing. It is just, for my own personal preference, it was too squishy for me. And size down on them. My shoe size put me as a large in these fins. I got them. They were way too big. So size down on the fins. I wound up donating them to someone that needed a pair of fins that had larger feet than mine. So they're still put to good use. But yeah, so Zoot's fin is a short blade fin. There's a reason it's defined as elite, ultra. I don't know if that's just the name of what they came up with, but it is basically a like this, except this one flares out. This one has a little more surface area than Zoot's fin, but like I said before, you cannot find this fin anymore. Please do not try and look it up. It is a Hydro Training Fins. This company doesn't exist. They were an Australian company. They went out of business like literally 10 years ago. So you're not going to find these ones. So please don't look for them. I have one that is a good alternate on the link tree. So if you want to find that, go to the link tree. Here's my swim gear recommendations on Amazon. So if you look on here, these are mostly products that I personally talk about and love and use. Okay, full disclosure, I do not use Catalyst fins. I do not use these SEAC fins, but when my fins break down, I am buying these fins. So SEAC, this one is the fin that I will use next. Wow, everything completely messed up there. No, don't do that. Don't do that to me. There you go. All right. How does short fins hurt slower swimmers? Short fins, you do not get enough surface area. It doesn't hurt you. It just doesn't provide enough benefits. So we're talking about a good, better, best here. Short fins simply doesn't give you the surface area on the blade to really help you move faster. And in terms of technique wise, most slower swimmers do not have proper swim kick technique. So typically the short blade fin or the long blade fin isn't really going to affect you much. And like I said before, these are my own observations. These are things that I have seen. So having short fins won't hurt you. You just won't get a lot of benefit from using the short fin. You'll get benefits. You'll see it. But long fins will definitely help you out more because you'll have more surface area to push down on the water, even if you have bad technique. Okay? So that's basically how I see it. But these SEAC fins, 100%, this is what I would use. This is what I will purchase next. One of the guys on my team, or that I train, they bought these fins and I saw him use it and it basically does the same thing. So okay. So then, the other fin that I would recommend is what? It did it. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Right here at the top. So, these are very generic training fins. You know, these are very generic, long blade swim fins. So you can see the much longer blade. That is about a foot plus minus. So let me think here. Does this actually tell you? Yeah. So extra long blade length. So if you kind of look down here at all the different offerings, so long blade, biofuse, something like this, don't really worry about that. Usually they're a lot more expensive than you need. So the short blade fins, switch blade fins, these are probably a little more flexible than the short blade fins. But yeah, so I would recommend the longer fins. So these are, you know, on the cheaper side. They'll last you a good number of years if you take care of them. You know, just wash them off with a little bit of water, you know, fresh water when you're done. It'll keep them from getting the rot. Although full disclosure, I have never washed these fins off, and you can see after 20 years, I don't know if the camera will focus good enough on that. but there's a little bit of wear and tear. You know, basically the little bit of rot is setting in on these fins. Yeah, like right here, you can see that cracking. That's when you know your fins are losing their lifespan. But realistically, worst thing that happens is you kick and the thing tears and you feel silly. there's nothing wrong if your fins just bust on you. So yeah, it is a really good idea to get long fins. And remember, this is on the link tree. Check out gear recommendations. You click that. Sorry, didn't want to show off all my lists. And then these fins are right here on the list. So yeah, so those are the two major styles of fins. There's a lot of other gimmicky fins out there. You don't need them. Should you have short fins and long fins? I mean, if you want to knock yourself out, I'm not going to stop you. But usually just pick a lane and stay in it for a while. Get used to swimming in either or. Just my recommendations are slower swimmers should be using long blade fins. They shouldn't be using short blade fins. Faster swimmers should prioritize short blade fins over long blade fins, but it's not going to kill you if you use long blade fins as a fast swimmer. I mean, legitimately, I have used long blade fins forever. I used them all the way until college. So all the way through high school, getting All-American in high school, I used long blade fins. So, you know, I can't say that you're definitely hurt by using long blade fins, because I did a lot. I just say you would want to prioritize using the short blade fins. One second. So, okay, so quality of life. Quality of life now with fins. Make sure you get fins that fit you. If you have the opportunity, find a store. Try and find a store that sells them and try on fins. Because fins are sized very weirdly. They have, you know, they typically go small, medium, large, extra large. So, and the sizes, they go, there's a wide range of sizings that happen with them. So do your best to see if you can find the fin in person and then try them on. Or be willing to abuse Amazon's return policy. Make sure you get fins. I need to double check to make sure the fins that I have the return policy on them, because seriously, do not settle for fins that don't fit you. Okay? Too tight, you're going to get blisters and it's going to lead to cramping. Too loose, they're just going to fall off. You need to find fins that actually legitimately fit your feet. You want them nice and snug. Okay? You don't want your fin shuckling around in the fin. You don't want your foot shuckling around in the fin. And I am just killing myself on these tongue twisters today. So make sure that you have fins that actually fit you, okay? Next, blisters. Blisters are insanely annoying. I know that there's a product where if you it's like a wipe, a reusable wipe, and let me see if I can find it real quick. For what was that product? Because I remember seeing it. What was that? Yeah, I'm only seeing like cleaning wipes and stuff. Reusable. Let's see here. Where is it? Different fins, water socks. Trying to see if. Yeah, shoot. Here, let's see if they have that product, because there was a was that Tri-Sling? Let's see here. I'm sorry. I'm a little flat-footed on this. Let's see here. let's see. Jamie says, I have arena swim fins that I love, really comfy, still getting used to swimming with them. Yeah, it takes a while. It takes a while to get used to it. Let's see if swim outlet. Let's see if they have them here. No, not Foggies. That's for goggles. Okay, no, they don't have them. So something that you can do, something that you can do is get swim socks, skin socks or fin socks. Fin socks will help. Did I use fin socks? I'm pretty positive I used fin socks at one point of my career. But anyway, buying just some cheap neoprene socks, that'll greatly help reduce blisters and stuff like that. Usually the reasons you get blisters are the same reasons that you get blisters for anything. Another idea from my swim store would be to use Surfer Salve. This is a product that I simply love and adore. I use Surfer Salve for everything, like literally everything. Wetsuit chafe, undercarriage chafe. You know, it's 100% all natural ingredients, yada yada yada. You know, made on Kauai. It is a product I found when I was a teenager, you know, just in the Island Candle Works shop. I thought it was cute, thought it was funny. But then I used it in college when I had super crazy dry skin from chlorine. Oh my gosh, this is the only stuff that worked. Everything else felt like a chemical burn on my face. So, they do not sponsor this stream, but my gosh, this is just a fantastically good product that is so under the radar. But seriously, Surfer Salve has revolutionized my life, and it works for bug bites, sunburns, anything. It just freaking works. I don't get it. And I sound like a total hippie. It's all natural, bum. No, this was originally designed for. I mean, it was marketed to me as a replacement for a rash guard while bodyboarding. That's how this was marketed to me back in the 90s. So yeah, and it's been around for that long, and it just seriously works. Please just pick it up, try it out. Surfer Salve. It's on the Amazon store right here. Oh, no, that's not completely off. Yeah, right there in the corner, Surfer Salve. It's just a fantastic product. Super good. I literally cannot sing enough praises. Slap a little bit of this on your feet, slap a little of this in between your toes. It is going to greatly help you reduce the possibility of getting blisters. Not only that, it doesn't just magically go off in the water super quickly. Yeah, it's a little greasy, but just wipe it on your suit. You're fine. Well, it's not like petroleum greasy. It's just, you know, waxy, little wax greasy. Anyway, buy it for yourself. Try it. Love it. Do it. Okay. So next thing that I've seen, that I saw people talk about yesterday was cramps, foot cramps. Yes. You will have a larger propensity to getting foot cramps if you wear fins. It just happens. Okay. How do you avoid that? Number one, foot and calf care. Okay. Remember, your calves are connected down into the foot, and then the foot is down below. So basically, whatever method you get to reduce plantar fasciitis, same concept here. Rolling with spike balls, rolling with small foot rollers, also working on your calves, making sure your calves are nice and flexible, and then because what happens is you push, and then you're going to be in a forced toe point when you have the fins on. And also when you swim naturally anyway, which is what you should be doing. And the push off the wall is the biggest culprit, because you're putting a lot of force to push, and then you come here, and then the muscle just goes right on the bottom of your foot. It sucks. It is not fun. If I had a nickel for every time I got an arch cramp during workout, I'd be a millionaire. So basically what you're trying to do is hold up. I need to shift you over. So what you want to do is you want to work on getting the calf a lot more flexible. You also want to work on getting the bottoms of the feet more flexible. So spike balls, lacrosse balls, stuff like that. Roll your feet out, roll your calves out. That will greatly help reduce the amount of cramps that you get. If you have toe pain, more than likely your fins are too small. Your feet are too cramped in your in the fins. Do they make wide toe box fins? No, they don't. Typically there is an amount of discomfort that you're going to have to put up with. Unfortunately, the fin industry is not like the cycling shoe industry. You just can't buy a wide pair of fins. If you got really big feet, we're talking size 12 and above, you're going to have to just try a bunch of different brands. There is the fins all look similar between the different brands. There are differences between all of them, so you're going to have to just figure it out. You're gonna have to figure it out. Unfortunately, I don't really have good solutions for that. I have a relatively small foot for my size. I'm 6'2", and I only have a 10.5 foot. My feet have always been notoriously small for my height, so unfortunately, I can't really help you out in terms of what you need for larger fins. Smaller fins, typically, just buy the smaller, extra small. You should be good to go. Wide feet, I can't help you out there either. Typically, you just kind of deal with it. Make sure that the fin is snug around the heel. So your foot isn't slipping out. If your foot is slipping out, that means your fin is way too big. You gotta size down on your fins. If your fin is totally cramping your foot, there's a decent chance you might be having too small of a fin. Once again, abuse Amazon's return policy. And try not to actually swim with them. That's kind of not cool, but just get them on your foot. You can tell. So for my fin, so I slap on my feet. So like a good rule of thumb is, so my toes actually come out of these fins. These fins technically are sizes 8 and 9. I have a 10.5 foot. But you can see that my toes come out. I am totally used to this at this point. That's just how this fin fit. So is it snug on my foot? Yes. Does my toe come out very awkwardly out of the fins? Yes. Do I absolutely love these fins? Yes. So it all winds up being a matter of what you're willing to put up with and what you're willing to use. So for me, I am totally fine with how these fins fit. I have literally been using them for decades at this point. These fins I've been using for decades. So that should probably, I think that talks about all the quality of life stuff. Care for your fins. I mean, if you just want to rinse them off after, let them dry out super good. Don't just toss them in the bottom of a bag. Getting a mesh bag is always a good idea. So here's my mesh bag. Just a nice big tier mesh bag. Keeps all my swim gear in it. They come in different sizes. I always recommend getting a mesh bag alongside your normal swim bag, just because you can toss your mesh bag right next to the pool. You can toss all your gear back in it, shake it out a couple times, get all the excess water, and then everything dries within your bag. You don't really have to touch it. Yeah. So I think that should be about it for fins. So hopefully this discussion on fins will help you train harder, smarter, and faster. So remember, if you live in the LA County area, please look me up. Once again, if you want to set up a swim technique lesson appointment, so right here on my link tree down here, book your lesson with me. This will send you over to my setmore.com. So you'll hit, wow, that's, one second. I need to shift this over real quick. So right here, so you'll click your lesson, and then you'll click whatever day that I have free. So then you'll see right here, so 5:30, 6, or 6:30. Please don't pick the 15s. That's just really awkward for me. So johnferrell.setmore.com. So that is where my link is. And you'll find it right here on the link tree. So, if you got friends that want lessons, send them over my link tree. Tell them to book a lesson with me in person, $40 per 30 minutes. Yeah, so that's how you get a hold of me. Also, so down below, as you can see, ferrellswimtech@gmail.com, ferrellswimtech at Instagram, YouTube, and Rumble. So, if you have any questions about swimming, ferrellswimtech@gmail.com, you want to know more about the, virtual stroke technique lessons, you send me a video, I review it. I will tell you what you should be focusing on and how you should be doing it. That is a free service. It is donation driven. Also, there is a donation link on the link tree. So if you really like what you see, you want to chip over a couple bucks, fantastic. Helps pay for my triathlon races and buying my kids milkshake, which Monday, unfortunately, the minimum wage is going up. So those milkshakes are going to get more expensive. So if you can help a dad out, buy his kids. Help me buy my kids milkshakes, because yes, 100% first world problems. That's exactly what we all need for our kids. Hey, bribing kids with mini milkshakes from Del Taco, it works. Okay, don't knock it till you've tried it. Not many milkshakes at Del Taco. They're like $1.30, and it is. What's my preferred way for DMs? So you can either message me here. It's just really easy. You can message me on Ferrell Swim Tech on Instagram. Totally fine. Doesn't matter. Here on Facebook, Instagram, I get those pretty easily. Email is always the easiest way to get me, just because I'm always at my computer. Well, my watch yells at me whenever I get a DM. So yeah, so if you got any questions, feel free to DM me. Instagram's the easiest way to DM me. Just because you have direct access to there. You don't have direct access to my Facebook. Well, actually, if you check the link tree, you'll find my Facebook. So if you want to DM me through Facebook, Instagram, totally fine with me. I get either of those messages very easily. Email, always the best way, though. ferrellswimtech@gmail.com. So that's going to be it for this week. I need to figure out what I'm doing next week. I don't know. You know what? I think we'll do snorkel next week. I think we'll kind of ride this this wave of the kind of more specialty equipment. Kickboards and pull buoys, you just do them. You slap the pull buoy on and you pull, and you slap the kickboard on, hold the kickboard, and you kick. So stuff like fins, snorkels, paddles, I think these ones need a little more love and attention, because usually I kind of do it as a 1 second. Okay. We didn't, I typically do it as kind of a rapid fire, where I talk about, okay, let's talk about fins for 5 minutes. Then we'll talk about kickboards for 5 minutes, pull buoys for 5 minutes. So I always kind of do it as a lightning round kind of a thing. But I think next week we're going to talk about snorkels. We'll talk about snorkels, talk about how to use them, how to train with them, when to use them, how to use them for drills, so on and so forth. So snorkels are next week. It's going to be a fun episode. I'm going to look like an idiot, just sitting here in my snorkel. So, yep, check the link tree. Thank you, dynamictriathlete.com, for being a great affiliate of the stream. Check out their 20-minute stretching mobility routines. It's going to be a great way for you to improve your swimming through improving your overall flexibility in the lower body. That's going to greatly help your body positioning. Please check out Dynamic Triathlete. Link down in the comments below, as well as the link tree. So once again, thank you. A big shout out to Mark for allowing me to do this. He's been behind this little broadcast ever since I started. So big shout out to him. If you see him tomorrow talking with Omni, they are doing the team stream tomorrow. So any little, hey, love Ferrell Swim Tech yesterday. Any shout outs would be greatly appreciated. So ferrellswimtech@gmail.com for anything else. So until later, my friends, keep training, keep swimming. I love swimming. I want you to love swimming. And until later, my friends, good night, Isaiah Norris, wherever you are. I'm out of here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.